Heron Tree project that will come in 2022. So, still back to 2007, also the Estuaire collection started. It's a collection of artworks, massive artworks, that spread out from Nantes up to the Atlantic Ocean, to the city of Saint-Nazaire, and they're everywhere, they're permanent. And that's where the first tourists came to Nantes, because they finally thought, there is something interesting happening in that city. So 2012 or 2011, the city decided to merge culture and tourism into one single organization. And this is very unique. It's the only city in France that can boast to have one organization that deals with culture and tourism at the same time. Le Voyage à Nantes was created, and with Le Voyage à Nantes, the first thing that we did was to create this green line everywhere in the city to make like a link between all the monuments, the heritage sites, but also the art, because the art is very important, as you will see in the pictures. So we call Nantes usually a scattered monument. Everywhere you walk in Nantes, you will find projects. You will find active projects. And as an example, you can here go to the Jardin des Plantes, the botanical garden, where you find this installation of Claude Ponty. Of course, you follow the green line, you see the cathedral, and then you go on the street and you will find some street signs that have been designed and revamped by artists. We have about 50 of them, I think, now. And it's growing, the collection is growing. This canal here has been turned into an art installation. It's actually a lady moving in the canal. It's Laetitia Casta, so it's quite impressive. You have to see it at night, because otherwise, during the day you won't see it. Then, even the playgrounds here are designed by artists. We just don't buy, things that you see in many cities, like they take catalogs and they buy things for the parks. Here we ask artists to do it. You got the Fable. It's a banana-shaped football playground, and people can look at the mirror and they see the real turn. It's actually easier to see it than for me to explain it, but go and have a look. And we use the public spaces for specific installations in the summer. We have a summer festival, July, August, so if you guys are coming back, come back in July and August, and you will see many art installations everywhere in town. This square is actually the same square, and every year we do something different. The swimming pool, this is important. In Nantes, everyone wants to take part into that project. So the public institutions, the gardens, the parks, but also the public equipment, like the swimming pool, they're asking, we want our artwork. So this project was developed with the public pool. Of course, along the Green Line, you'll find the main new architecture, because it's actually blooming in Nantes. This one also is an artwork on the facade of a building, and so on. So I won't go into all details. I really invite you to go around this Green Line and discover things by yourself. Here, the cafes and the bars, they're also asking us to help them to create something a bit more funky for their clients. This is the bar of the School of Architecture from a Dutch group of designers, and so on. So you see, this was a temporary installation for reading, not too far from here. The ping pong tables, these are very popular with our Asian visitors. This is the Mani, this is a building, but also the architecture is quite funky here. The ribbon netter. This is a zebra, just right opposite the street. People are saying, why did you do that? He said, because the artists always say, you never cross the streets like that, you always make curves. So the artist was playing with that, and I think it's a brilliant idea. This one is also hard to explain, so it's not too far from here. Have a look. These are the rings of Buren. These are the only ones you can actually see. When you fly over Nantes at night, you can see them. It's quite impressive. La Cantine is a restaurant that we run, and we ask our designers, local designers, to do something also like special furniture, special signage, and it's very popular. It can host about 300 people all together. This is the basketry. This one was supposed to be temporary, and everyone loved it. The children play with it every day, so the city decided to keep it, which is important for us. This is the happy gallery that we run, the playground with the moon and the the Earth. Actually, the Earth is not hanged at the moment, but it will come back in the summer. And it's quite nice. You see the moon, you can jump on it, you have trampolines. And at night, the Earth gets lit in the sky. And we got some people coming by boat with a river cruise, and they were like, what the hell? There is an Earth from north in the sky. They were like, oh, a bit panicked. The memorial is also interesting. It's from a Polish and American architect. The opera is quite funky here too. We don't only sing in the opera in Nantes. You can imagine any kind of activity in the opera, which is very unusual. The Passage Pommeret, that's one of the best gems in the city center. The Nid from Jean Julien. Jean Julien is a famous illustrator. He shares his time between Nantes, London, and New York. And he has created a bar called The Nest, because it's actually on the rooftop of the highest tower of the city.
The Nid is actually one of the recommended meetup spots tonight for a sunset cocktail, because we wanted to show off this work.
And if you're not going there too late, something very interesting here is that you see people can sit on the eggs of the bird, but some Nantais painted some eggs on the roofs around the tower, as if some people had like thrown away the eggs from the terrace and the egg had actually exploded on the roof. So if you find them, I think there are about three or four of them around. This is the house on the river. So what is interesting too here, and I'm almost finished with the presentation, is that Nantes is trying to spread now this spirit of having art and culture everywhere around. We have a massive project from Nantes to Saint-Nazaire, as I was saying. It's called the Estuaire project, where we have these very big artworks. This one is probably one of the most impressive also. It's the house in the river, and if you go a bit further, you have the soft boats of Hervé Nouveau. Every artwork tells a story. The artist, it's also important for us, the artist, we don't buy artworks that we bring here. We bring the artist and we ask them to do something specific for the city, for the place, and it always tells something about the specific area where the artwork is displayed. This is also the funky one, it's the Villa Cheminée. It's an artwork from a Japanese artist. It's a hotel, you can book it, but it's actually booked 1 year in advance now. So that's also good to see how culture can create kind of a leverage for activity, for tourism in a specific area. And finally, you get to the ocean and you see the big snake of Wang Yongping. So I'm done. I think I'm in the timing.